All right, what up, guys? Hello, happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of Fangirlz Assemble. I'm Maddie, and with me is Kristan, who's also in the same state I'm in, and Fariha, who we cannot see but we can hear tonight.
Hi,
How's everybody
Freya's a
doing?
ghost tonight.
Yeah.
I'm a voiceless,
She's a red
apparition
dot.
tonight. Yeah, I'm a
dot.
red dot today.
You're the
So
stop button.
yeah, the stop button.
Is that what I am? Because I can't honestly, I don't know how. I'm actually on my phone. This is the first time or second time I got on my phone. But last time it was my face. But I don't know because I was
No,
on
it's just the logo because you're
Oh.
signed in.
Omnibus one, yeah.
Why am I signed? Anyway, never mind.
All right. So before we talk about everything in the show today, I would like to go ahead and thank our regular sponsor, In Stock Trades. Now, everyone, I made a lot of in stock trades over these past few weeks. Can everyone tell me why? Why do we order from in stock trades so much?
Oh, it's the best ever, you guys. Personally, I like that you've hit $50, you have free shipping, best packaging ever. I'm not even just saying that. It is incredible packaging. There's been times where it's been a downpour in Kentucky, like it was earlier today, and I come home and my boxes are soaked. But everything's fine because of how they package it. They package it beautifully. It's in a nice bag within other stuff. It's amazing. And that's how you want your books. And the deep, deep discounts, up to 50% off on all your faves. It's the best.
Absolutely. And we've got some cool new books coming out this week.
Ooh, can I give a shout out to Black Magic by Greg Rucka?
Let's do it. Do it.
Well, that's all I can say because I haven't read it, but the hardcover is coming out, and I'm gonna get it from InStockTrades.com.
I know a big one for a lot of people is the Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 4 is coming out. Everybody loves the big omnis. I would like to recommend Avant-Garde's Volume 1, which is from Boom. I've been reading that in singles on Hoopla, and it is fantastic. So
what is that story about?
That's the one I was going to bring up. I couldn't remember the name of because I saw you tweet it earlier.
Yeah. These girls are in college.
Team.
Yeah, all these badass girls are playing basketball in college, and this is the best. Look, I hate sports. I really do. I do not like sports, and I love this comic, so you should check it out.
Listen, if you put sports into an anime or manga or comic, I'm there.
Yes.
Who is it by?
It is the writer is Carly Austin.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
It's Carly Rae Jepsen. She writes it. I wish, guys, I'd buy it. And Noah Hayes with the art. It's great art and great writing. I think Carly did some Lumberjane stuff. I don't know. She's done something else I like. It's great.
Yeah, okay. I've heard nothing but good things about that, so I'm super excited to pick it up. I need to stop making orders every week. But, thanks to Raph last week,
and
I ordered all of
stock deals.
Gosh. Yeah, I ordered all of Nail Biter.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Raph.
We should definitely do a show on Nail Biter.
I'm down.
Yes, let's do it.
I'm excited for that. So, I recently, because Kristan bullied me into getting Hoopla, so now I have Hoopla.
Bullied you? I helped you forever. I changed your life.
I felt bullied, okay? Now I can't buy books anymore because everything's on Hoopla.
Now you get free stuff?
I'm so jealous that we don't have Hoopla.
I'm so sorry.
But we have a lot of books. So, I've checked out a significant amount of books this month.
Right. So the thing is, the one library that I'm in my work county, that has Hoopla, but my home county doesn't have it. So at least there's limits to it. So, it's not going to be completely changing my life. But hey, guess what? At least 15 free books, y'all.
Yeah. Well, it helps you figure out what to buy. That's why I don't mind checking out and reading digital. Now I know for sure.
But here's the thing, though. I was surprised to find out that with Hoopla that you have the library edition and you also have the trade backs. So you have 10 limits. If you buy Hellboy 6 library editions, you read the whole book, if you know what I mean, versus going for 15 or whatever amount of trades there is. So there is that to it too. Anyway.
Yeah, Hoopla, they get the deluxe editions and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah, Hoopla is not our sponsor, but we're just going to give them a shout out as well. So guys,
and if you do have trades, yes, go there.
So for today's was really special. It's been kind of a little bit in the making. So Dynamite Comics sent us some books to review, and I'm really excited about this. You guys know that I have been raving and raving and raving about Red Sonja and really digging in on the Dynamite train. So I was really excited about this. So the 2 books we got, Nancy Drew, The Palace of Wisdom by Kelly Thompson, who's our fave. Our fave. And because I mentioned Red Sonja, and they're like, listen, let's see how you guys feel about Vampirella. We also got sent Vampirella, the Dynamite Years Omnibus Volume 3.
A nice chunker.
As well as several digital files that I have absorbed. I have so much Vampirella knowledge right now that I was trying to explain to my fiance earlier, and he just laughed because like, what's her origin? I was like, well, sometimes she's from a planet called Dracula. He's like, what? Anyway, so part of the reason why we were sent so much Vampirella stuff is because this year marked Vampirella's 50th anniversary. So she's turning 50 this year. There's gonna be a lot of stuff coming out this year, a lot of like statues and poster calendars and pins and different comics and all this stuff. So yeah. How about we start with Nancy Drew first?
Yes.
And
There's
then
lots to go into.
I can jump into a lot of the digital stuff for Vampirella after we talk about Nancy Drew, because I think this is going to take a while to digest and talk about. So Nancy is very much typical for us. This felt like reading from Boom, and I mean it in the most positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this book was great. I mean, they did a great job whoever put together this team, whoever decided to pick up this book. I hope that they just continue to make stories. There's no volume 1 on this, so I imagine this will be like separate stories, very similar to Nancy Drew books and video games.
Mm-hmm.
This was good. So what do y'all think?
I really loved it. I was trying to figure out who did the art. Jen
Saint-Ung.
Yes. And I love the art. It is very, I hate to say Boom again, but it is very like something I would see out of Boom, which again is a big compliment.
She did she did Giant Days.
Did she?
I think she did the first volumes of Giant Days. It says somewhere she did Giant Days.
I'll look it up.
It says on the back, but I don't know. Maybe it was like a mini thing. Yeah.
It's probably one-off, because I was like, whoa, okay, because it looks like Giant Days.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but anyway, okay, continue. Sorry.
I love that, I don't think I've ever read a Nancy Drew book. I'm just showing you some of the art because it's great. Ever, I think, in my life. I understand that she solves mysteries, and I'm sure Veronica Mars took heavily from these sort of stories.
Absolutely.
And I'm a huge Veronica Mars fan, so I really love that aspect of it. I love the diverse cast of characters, which I'm sure wasn't the case in the original Nancy Drew books because they're so old. So that was really nice. And I immediately felt for Nancy. We get a lot of her backstory with like her and her friends pretty much immediately. And I feel like I immediately cared about everyone.
Oh, absolutely. Which is not easy to do with such a big cast.
Yeah, because you had a lot of people, even on the cover. There's several people here, and you're like, oh, I don't want to get lost in it. But no, you care and love about everybody. You know everybody's name. It's great.
Mm-hmm. And how cute are those Hardy Boys?
I know. Where are they?
They're so cute.
Right here. Yeah, they're so cute. And I love that. I was like, oh, I know who they are, kind of.
Yeah, the name is definitely recognizable. But yeah, so like the quick premise for everyone, we won't give it all away, but basically Nancy is living her detective life when she gets a mysterious letter from home regarding her mother's death. So she received this letter on like the day her mother died. And so she goes back home and kind of reunites with a bunch of friends that she used to solve mysteries with that she hasn't talked to in like 7 years. Yeah, that's the quick and dirty of it. And basically it's a lot of just like friends reuniting and growing back together, and just it felt like a 90s movie. Kind of. But maybe the fashion on point.
Yes, and there was that big mystery throughout, which again gave me like Veronica Mars vibes, which is a great thing because I love Veronica Mars. So you got like kind of like a mini mystery, which turns into a bigger mystery. I won't give anything away, but I loved that. I would read like 100 more of these. I really loved it. Also, there's a CW show coming out in the fall. for Nancy Drew, I assume, I haven't looked it up, but I assume they're going to take heavily from this. I don't know. It doesn't say anything on here, but
they should. I mean, this is
announced. Yeah,
like no-brainer. This book. This was so great. I think they should just keep doing this forever. Like Dynamite, you picked an absolute winner with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you got this magic together.
Keep Kelly Thompson on. She needs to write it all.
Yeah, and honestly, keep doing stuff like this. I think this is great. It felt like it was all ages appropriate. The art definitely lent itself to something that I am really happy to read. I love this. I want to see them solve more mysteries. I want to see their own personal whatever they're going through. They did it so well. Yeah,
I loved all the relationships. It was adorable.
So good. And there's no over-explaining. Like, I'm always sad when I read other comic books that they have a large group of characters and they feel the need to over-explain. They feel as if like people aren't going to get it.
Or like reintroduce a lot, which there was none of that. It's like, this is so-and-so, remember from like 2 pages ago? It's like, I got it.
Like your audience is smart. They can pick up. And I think, Kelly did a great job letting you figure out what these characters are like from the get-go. So, and it's so good. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I mean, if you like anything Kelly Thompson's written, you're going to like this. Or if you're a big Boom fan like we are, this gave me several, like Goldie Vance.
Oh, yeah.
Goldie Vance in this. I could feel just all the characters. Again, in the diverse cast, which I love. And,
and they're so cute.
They're all so cute. And they have great haircuts.
Yeah.
Things you don't always see in comics, which is stupid, but it's true, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, because it's done. People don't always know how to write current youth. I don't want to say youth, but and it's done well, and it's done in a way that makes sense. Because some people think they know what it's like, and it's not. I think this is very comparable to like the current Buffy reboot. I think this is on the same level. I think there's something else.
All these girls could be in the Scooby Gang.
Oh yeah,
and the boys. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I mean, I'm talking about haircuts. Like this is a real haircut people have, and I never see in books for girls. So I love that.
So good. And also about like if you like shows, Veronica Mars is like,
if you're into Veronica Mars, grab this.
Sabrina, I felt like the current Sabrina feels very similar.
Mm-hmm. So can I interject?
Yeah.
We can wait for the red dot. I mean,
jump in.
Sorry, I was actually like, my sister was chatting over here. So the thing is, like, it's actually very. You guys, one of the things you guys said that this is very Kelly Thompson thing to do is that she will take characters that has been established for very long, and you wouldn't need any background, and you're just gonna be swimming in it. Like, and then she does it again over here. Like she done it in Rogue and Gambit. Like we talked about it, that, I, without any knowledge of Rogue or Gambit, was completely on board with that. And then Kristan, who has extensive knowledge, was also loved it equally. And I feel like Nancy Drew is like, over here is the same. So I read one of her... Can anyone hear me? Was it me?
I'm not sure. The audio got really strong for a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. No, I was saying that, I read one of the first ever Nancy Drew books. Can you hear me? Sorry.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying that I read one of the first Nancy Drew books. Kristan, I could not survive that. I could not survive that bullshit. Because I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it's literally written for kids. So... this one was much more palpable. I'm like, I understand this. This is the world I can get behind. Like, the other Nancy Drew, it was like such a, like, I don't know what people were living in at that time because it was written so long, 100 years ago. No, seriously, it was like, everybody's so nice. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I stole this clock. Here we go. Here's the clock back. I'm like, what? What is this? What's happening right now? I actually went back on my Goodreads to see. I gave it a 1 star. Like that, like the first ever original Nancy Drew. So Yeah, this one was like a 4-star for me. One thing I would say though, I was a little irritated by the fact that everyone was going so happy-go-lucky when there was literal actual murders going on. There was a disconnect that I couldn't deal with though. Because there was a disconnect. Because it's like, why is everyone so okay? There was a dead body there. Like, are they that like hip?
I mean, were they okay though? Because I feel like Nancy was like kind of upset throughout a lot of this for various reasons, you know.
But the thing is, like, everyone else was making jokes and they were just all okay. Like, I don't know. It was like
honestly, I would. That's my defense mechanism.
yeah, probably. That's what I thought. I'm like, maybe I am just a cranky old lady.
And honestly, like, I have very limited Nancy Drew knowledge, except for like I played a bunch of the PC games with friends. I have a bunch of friends that are really into the Nancy Drew computer games, and that seems to be kind of the thing because she's always driven by the mystery.
Okay.
And I think she kind of just keeps going. So it's not. Isn't her.
That also reminds me of Veronica Mars too, though, because it's like, you know, yeah, there's murders happening, and we have to go on with our lives because she got to solve it, right? Or like,
I totally agree, Nancy, to be like that. I was talking about everyone else. Like, everyone else was hip with it. That was a little misconnect. I thought that, whoa, are they? And then I thought that maybe that's what they are. I didn't, like, you know, I was like, okay, this is what it is. Like, you know, I kind of took it with a stride, but I was expecting at least one person to bring out, because that's also a stereotype you see, at least one person to say, you guys, someone was murdered. We should be more careful.
Well, you gotta, I mean, yeah, maybe, but you also gotta keep in mind, they've been through it with Nancy, right? Like, this is her old friend group, the majority, right? So they're like, we're used to this nonsense.
Hang on, were they used to murders at the age of 12? Because she's 17.
Listen, when it's a detective comic, anything's possible.
Listen, if that's what we are, and then what is this suburb where there's murders and 11-year-olds are solving those murders? Where is this place? Because I need to move there. Like, that's what.
I don't think I want to be there.
No, I mean, if there's like, you know, this kind of teens there, like, these are some tough ass teens. That's what I'm talking about. Because I'm like, Hey, listen, I think, because, and also here's the thing, I read it right after watching John Wick, so maybe a lot of things wasn't making sense to me. I don't know.
We gotta time your stuff better.
Like, I'm telling you, because I'm like, whoa, there's like murders, so many murders.
So,
but anyway, I know that it's completely, like, you know, the art is beautiful. It gets an 8 out of 10 from me.
Okay.
That's good.
That's my final view on this.
So yeah, I hope they continue, and also like
they have to,
Dynamite,
They have to, because it ends with a cliffhanger.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I'm really hip with that.
So everyone needs to go buy it, so the trade sales are good, so they'll continue this.
Yes, please.
Please.
And I'm excited to read some more from Dynamite too, because it looks like they also have like a more noir style Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. It's in the. They have this at the end of the book.
Yes.
And I'm interested to pick that up too. It's so refreshing to see that, like, I always see Dynamite picking up properties that are like that were like used to be TV shows or used to be like already established characters. And so it's always really nice. Like, I've been dying to pick up their Xena, like dying to pick up Xena from Dynamite. So,
well, and you know, our buddy Kyle did Mars Attacks, and it was incredible.
Oh, so good.
That trade is coming out soon. You guys should get that too.
Please get Mars Attacks. It was so good. 10 out of 10.
And there's also John Wick, also by Dynamite as well. Or
okay.
Really? Well, that's convenient.
Oh yeah, that's also Dynamite as well, and it's written by Greg Pak. Apparently, it's about John Wick's past. Although, you know me, I don't care about prequels, so I don't know about it. But I bought it.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you guys know what I think about this, but I love John Wick, so
nice.
Anyway,
so all right, so we were also sent several Vampirella digital files, as well as this Dynamite Years Omnibus Volume 3. So, out of those files, we were sent about 4 different volumes of the Masters series. Now, these are series that are runs that occurred, I think, like anywhere from like early 90s until now, by various artists or by various writers. And trying to give the order. So like I really enjoyed. I know that I was the only one who read the digital files, but I really recommend Kurt Busiek's run. It's volume 4 of the Master series. Wait, let me double check. Make sure.
Volume 5.
You're right, volume 5. So volume 5 is the first chronologically of the Master series, or actually in disorder by release. It's early 90s. I loved it. I really, really liked it because when you see Vampirella, you unfortunately, due to her outfit and looks and how she tends to be drawn, which is not her fault.
Hello?
Yes?
Sorry, you kind of disappeared for a while. Was it me?
It was you.
Oh, damn it. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. So when I first went into this, because I got into Red Sonja recently and kind of met more of the Dynamite ladies through crossovers. But when I saw Vampirella, I was like, I don't know. Because I don't mind. I don't mind women with like barely no clothes on. That doesn't bother me. Usually my issue will come from the way that they're drawn or poses. If it's not realistic, I don't really care for it. I know how clothes fit. So when I saw her, I just assumed, okay, it's your usual just like seductress vampire woman that you see. That's like a caricature in most media. And I also wonder sometimes when reading some of these if that's what some writers thought as well. But I really recommend if you're at home to read Kurt Busiek's run, the Master Series Volume 5. It showed a softer side to her that I was not expecting. And she has a really cool cast and crew of characters. Adam Van Helsing and Pendragon. A lot of like any vampire lore names are there in her story. I really, really, really like that. And honestly, I like the Master series as well. The art kind of would flip-flop depending on how it's drawn, but I always recognize 90s and early 2000s that sometimes how women were drawn are not how they would be drawn, hopefully today, sometimes. So I kind of suspended my disbelief and my feelings towards that. And I tend to do that for that era of writing, or not writing, but art. So I know I was a little worried today because I read through Omnibus Volume 1 and Omnibus Volume 2, the Dynamite Years. And again, we were given this Dynamite Years Omnibus Volume number 3. Now, Volume 1 and 2 rely a lot heavily on earlier books and the earlier lore. Now, the pro of this is that it's a continuing story, which I don't see often in comic books. You see so many reboots. You know, for example, any Red Sonja story I've jumped into, I feel like I didn't need any prior knowledge of Red Sonja to read, which can be a good thing. But also, if you're someone who's a dedicated fan, maybe you're hoping to see past characters that you're not going to see. I'm very used to is people getting rebooted. But the Vampirella series, it's kind of refreshing in that like the story continues on, which again can be good or bad. But these characters can come back that you've met. Backstories, can revisit. Old enemies can come back. But then there's the downside. I think Volume 1 and Volume 2 of this series, if you're reading them at home or thought about reading them, I would very much stress that you pick up the Master series as well. I don't think it'll make as much sense because a lot happens and it's a lot of backstory, a lot of like old characters coming back. So I definitely recommend reading that. Okay, so I'm probably rambling. I'm trying to figure out the best way to organize all this thought because just so we all read this.
No,
now, I want to say that this is a meaty omnibus. If you ever thought about getting or reading any Vampirella, this is about $35 cover.
It's good value.
And it's 500 pages. This is meaty. Now, I read very fast. It takes me about almost 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half.
The pages are thick, too. Like, I don't know. So it's a good quality.
It's really nice quality. This is a very nice feeling omnibus. It lays really well. I was really impressed by that. And every one of the omnibuses that I've read so far of this are very meaty, but also containable. We talked before about how omnibuses, talked last week about how omnibuses can be too big, especially hardcovers, and they don't make sense to carry. These This is a very nice size, but meaty, and it can fit on your shelf really well, and it's very easy to bring around with you. Hats off to Dynamite for that. This is a really nice format for this, and the price is great. You know, I know that a lot of collectors prefer hardcover, but as far as like
just for value alone, I mean,
great. Yeah,
you're not going to get that for a hardcover.
No,
you're just not. And this is like, we all love chunky trades, and it does lay very nice. Not even just in the middle. Like, I read this whole thing pretty much open on my lap.
Yeah. So
which never happened.
Look at all the
even at the end
that
check
Kristan
that out.
has.
And real quick, let me grab a Red Sonja omnibus so you guys can see the difference as far as that. I hope that they continue to do this sort of format and this thickness.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like my notes for you?
I do. I mean, come on, that just shows dedication.
I mean, I marked some specific visuals I need to talk about.
I know. You sent me one, and that was kind of the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know which one you're talking about.
So real quick, before we get into the contents of it, I'm just talking about how the book looks. So there's a significant difference too. The Red Sonja omnibus, this is the she-devil with a sword. It's one of the older runs.
Okay.
It predates, you know, Gail Simone and Amy Chu, which are just in the skinnier trades. But this is like chunky.
Yeah.
Real big. Okay, so now let's dig into the contents of the book. So this is written by Nancy Collins. It includes a one-shot and then issues 1 through 13 of her run, as well as Vampirella Annual 2015. And honestly, I thought the annual was the best part of it.
I agree with that.
So, is it okay if I go first?
Go ahead, because I think it'd be easier for me to hear you guys' thoughts and then kind of jump in as far as like comparisons to older Vampirella series and how this is different.
Right. So the thing is, like, I'll be honest, I survived only 2 issues. I couldn't deal with it.
Oh no! I wish I had read past that. I think that one shot was.
Yeah, I guess so. But the thing is,
understand.
Like, no. But the thing is, like, Kristan, because I asked Kristan, I'm like, Kristan, does this get better? She sent me a picture. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm out of here. You can call me prude. You can call me whatever. But no respectful woman dresses like that. I'm sorry. You don't.
Well, she's not a woman.
I mean, I know she's a vampire. But the thing is, like, it's one of those situations where it's like there is practicality and there's dressing up like that. Like, if you look at Emma Frost, she dresses like, you know, very skimpy at times. But at the same time, it kind of feels like it goes with her character. Over here, I didn't get any sense of that. I didn't get any sense that this is how she is or this is how she dresses and stuff. But my biggest concern is, and even that, okay, there is like conversation to be had, discussions to be had. I was raised by different, like, you know, by different culture.
No, I think it's a fine conversation to have.
Yeah, you know, different. I was raised in a different culture, so maybe I am not hip with a lot of these things. I cannot deal with stories that has rape in it. I cannot. Like, it's something that my brain puts a mental block, and I can never recover from that. And, you know, this is going to get heavily political. This week has not been very kind to women and women's rights. And then getting to that and thinking about this was created for male gaze, and this was created for that. Like, everything, all my anger, rage just boiled over. And I started to think about, I think I'm actually crying because I'm actually getting like really annoyed about this because, you know, everything about, and the first one shot was about about like middle-aged witch burning, which is once again was about women's health issues. Like, these were women doctors who were helping women, and they were, you know, they were burned at the stake, and that was brought back. And then there was like a rape and sexual assault and all those things, and I just could not deal with it. So by the time I was done with that first issue, I was fuming. And then I'm like, this is it. Like, this is what you were showing. Like, oh my God, look at this strong women who dresses for male gaze and do all these poses. But hey, she's strong. Like, I was so upset. And I shouldn't. This is completely a me thing. I'm going to be honest. Like, this is a me thing. This is a very personal thing. But honestly, I could not see beyond that. And I couldn't continue. So when Kristan sent me that it doesn't get better, this is what's waiting for you, I'm like, I'm done. I don't need this in my life. I am happy if others enjoy this, let them, but I am not going to touch another Vampirella again.
Okay, so one thing, I don't blame you at all for this.
You.
I felt like Nancy Collins' run didn't feel the same as previous runs. Now, the pro of this run, I think, is that the story overall, it didn't feel as action-packed as the 2 volumes that preceded it. I felt like it was a much more linear, continuous story. So there's that. Now, I will say that sometimes what Vampirella struggles from is, I think, artists that don't know how to properly draw women's bodies or clothes on women's bodies or poses. And something I've thought about a lot after reading all of this, because I think there's a lot of Vampirella runs that are really good, and I think they're worth reading eventually when you feel like you could, but not that you have to. I really do like Kurt Busiek's run. But I do think that, like, I think Vampirella is a character that can be very well developed and very well written. And I feel that way because I started with Kurt's. And I do think that, like, it's not about what she's wearing. I feel like it's about how she's drawn. And I think I don't want to say it's because we need a female artist to do it, but I do think it would help. And I think having an artist that knows how to draw women, I think there's a lot of situations in this book that, like, it doesn't make sense. You don't have to, like, I think artists don't realize that they don't have to, they're not going to lose readers by trying to appeal to both men and women. I'm a woman who likes seeing women, and I love Red Sonja. And I don't think drawing her differently, like, as far as her clothing, would lose any men, I guess. I think I'm rambling, but basically,
but my thing is, though, it's just like, so this is like more of like an engineer in me as well, because I'm like, how does this clothes work?
Oh, I'm a cosplayer. I got you. I know it doesn't fit.
Yeah, it doesn't work. And the thing is, here's the thing.
Yeah.
She wears proper clothes. Like, she wears clothes as you would to go to places. Like, there is, as a society, we have established rules about clothing. Why is it whenever she has to go into a normal fighting situation, her clothes all of a sudden changes? Like, I just couldn't
she took that trench coat off quite a bit.
Yeah, like,
she'd be like in the car with the trench coat. I'm like, oh, she looks badass like this. Like, and then she's like, gotta fight.
Yeah,
wait.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, Emma Frost doesn't need to do this. Catwoman doesn't need to do this. Like, no one needs to do this. I don't know. I just feel like that everything about this is done for male gaze, and I am not on board. I was not on board for that. Because the thing is, here's the thing, though. Like, Maddie, you were talking about Red Sonja. Red Sonja makes sense because, I don't know, because the time, the era she's in, or like the things aspects that she's in, somehow I see Red Sonja, I'm like, okay,
I'll defend this, though. I can see how she feels empowered. I can see how cosplayers who cosplay her feel empowered. And also, like, everyone in Dracula dresses this way, men included. At least there's that. I can give that. I think some adversaries Vampirella fights, their outfits seem a little silly. But I can't say that everyone in Dracula dresses this way.
Really?
I don't know. So, like, it's just hard for me to... I think there's impractical ways to draw her, and I think that's happened throughout this. And I think there's been situations in past volumes where she wore a skin-tight suit, and the artist assumed that a skin-tight suit would fit you as if you were naked, and that was an issue for me because that's not how outfits work. But if she feels comfortable dressing that way, I know other women that do, and to me that doesn't give her any lack of respect for herself.
I guess.
I understand. I don't like that type of style's not going to be for everyone, and it's going to elicit different reactions in different people. But, like,
for me, it wasn't a respect thing. Like, she can wear whatever she wants, but I'm trying to find that picture I sent.
The one with the
just
hanging
yeah.
boobs.
Page where I was just like, what is this? I can't find it now. Hold on. I know I marked it. Here we go. Okay. What are we doing here? What is happening? Specifically, like, that doesn't work. Your boobs will be flying out of this thing. Like, what
Trust
is
me. Like, trust me. I can tell you that. You know, I can tell you that boobs will not.
like flying off of, like, what?
Well, that's
And the thing
because
is, like,
that part
even
is drawn as if they have silicone boobs, which again is fine if you do, but is unlikely.
Unlikely if you're a vampire. That's what's happening. So that personally distracted me because I was like, this would not actually happen if if someone who just has breast is flying around with like dental floss on.
Which is why it would be nice if I see, like, I love Jenny Frison's art of her. I feel like Jenny Frison knows how to draw women in general.
Even that last annual, they covered her butt, you know, like things that made more sense.
Well, you need the right artist,
right?
And I think, like, I think Vampirella is a good story to tell, and I just think everyone owes it to themselves.
Say something, Kristan.
Yeah, sorry.
So we can see
sorry. That makes more sense to me.
That's how it usually is.
Personally, I still don't care for the outfit. Just personally as an outfit. I'm like, I don't care. I don't think it's cool looking. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's not cool looking. You can be sexy and you can still be like skimpy and you can still look cool. Nothing about it is cool. Here's my question. This is something I wanted to ask both of you. If our lady friend of yours is walking around wearing that, what would you tell them?
I would say, fucking go for it, girl.
You would?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I'd be like, I may get kicked out of the Dollar General if you go in there like that.
Yeah, like if my homegirl went to convention, bless. Good on you.
Convention's a different thing.
Convention is completely different. Not talking about convention. I'm talking about at night in Baltimore, downtown Baltimore.
It's a fantasy setting. Homegirl's not going to wear this in the real life.
You don't know. Seriously,
this crazy vampire did, right?
Yeah, apparently Vampirella is saying that it's okay. I don't know. I mean, this is just something like, you know. I mean, yeah, I have a whole thing to kind of. This is more of a personal thing that I have to deal with. Like, you know, that okay, what's considered to be girl power versus okay, general modesty. I'm not talking about, you know, everyone dresses up like nun, as some people would have us do. I'm not talking about that. But at the same time, there is a balance for that. But anyway, I'm
beyond that. I just didn't care for the outfit, and I don't think realistically, like, breast work that way. You know? So that constantly distracted me. I was just like, I don't understand.
And I don't agree with that.
Breast. I was just like, I don't get it.
I think the artist needs to learn. I think artists for Vampirella, artists for any Dynamite ladies need to learn how boobs actually work and how the body actually works. Because if you want both female and male readers, you need to do that accurately, and it needs to make sense, and the body needs to make sense, and body physics need to make sense. Because
while we're talking about the boobs, can I just say, why were her nipples so prominent all the time?
Oh, yes! Oh, my God! Oh, my God!
All the time, even in shadows. And I was like, what nipples look that? So that was just another thing. Where
that was like, those nipples, by the way, I'm telling you, if you have like, you know, we have majority of the dudes listening to us, trust us, dudes, that nipple looks gross without that. Like, that's some gross looking nipples. Oh, God, my God.
It was a lot.
Oh. Like that was freaking me out. Like, it's not enough that she has to wear dental floss, but no, on top of that, you have to wear like those nipply things. What is this even?
Maybe that's the thing. Like, that's the most bothersome. It's not even what she was wearing. I think Maddie's right with how it's drawn, and some things are just over the top. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm almost looking at porn when I'm reading something, right?
Well, and I think that's what a lot of artists, unfortunately,
with the nipples,
their inspiration from, because the boob physics are like porn. That's why I really want I want her to get the same treatment that Red Sonja's getting now, because I've read Gail Simone's run, Amy Chu's. I feel like we're finally at a place where like these women can be drawn in more strong poses and not just like back-breaking butt poses or weird with the legs up for no reason or something. Because, like, it doesn't add anything to the story. And if anything, it makes it me feel skeezy and weird.
Right.
And I think she has a good story to tell. And I think it can be done well because, like, she is a versatile character. Her story's interesting. Give us an artist that can honor that can have it make sense. Like,
Well,
that's all I ask.
Can we talk about the story too? Like,
yes, do.
We can, obviously the outfits and how it's drawn, Okay. Beyond that, I felt like it was really Monster of the Week, which isn't bad. I like some Monster of the Week stuff. Like, every issue was a different, like, bad thing that she had to, like, go fight, right? But the narration was so much to me and unnecessary, especially going into backgrounds of, like, some of these characters. And especially with her character, I feel like I learned more about these monsters than her. So I had a really hard time relating to her or caring about her even as a character. So it had a lot against it with the drawings distracting me. Why do I keep seeing her nipples? Like, plus the narration that I feel like was really over the top and too much and just way too wordy for 2014 when this came out, right?
Yeah.
Plus, I just, I feel like what I learned, I actually wrote it down. So I feel like what I learned was she's powerful. Just from reading this big thing, I learned she's powerful. She loves barely wearing clothes. Okay. And I see her nipples a lot. And she's a vampire. That's all I got from that.
Yeah.
And I will add to that.
Because,
I will add to that, Kristan. Another thing I also learned, she doesn't have her memory, which is like a fucked up trope that everyone tries to settle a strong female character with.
A lot of her past she doesn't know, right?
Yeah, she doesn't know any of her past. And the fucking church controls her. Like, this week, that was a worst fucking thing that could have happened to me. Like, the fact that the church is controlling a scantily clad woman. Because the only thing I learned, like, you were talking about, like, okay, a woman can wear that dress and stuff. I felt like none of this were her agency. Like, none of these choices were her agency. Like, and then again, I'm going to apologize because I only read 2 issues. So
I would really like you to read more of the old stuff.
I don't know.
I know.
I don't know about that. Maybe at some point when I am, like, when this bullshit is over and I'm in a happier place. I was not in a very happy place this week, guys.
I will say, after reading all of the Vampirella books that were given to us, this is not the book I would recommend for, like, I think if you're a Vampirella completionist and want to read more, that's fine. This is not what I recommend to new readers. Personally, I would definitely start with one of the earlier series, just because they do continue on for so long. As far as, like, the story is very continuous. Like, stuff that happened in early 90s matters in, like, 2010, with a lot of these with this run, and I felt like, unfortunately, I don't think Nancy was the right person for this book. I'm not sure why she was so narrative. I'm not sure why she was so narrative heavy in this. I don't.
A whole lot.
That's pretty new, and also the font they chose for any inner monologue or description was really jarring and difficult to read.
Yeah.
I will say in earlier runs, it's not like that. It can be dialogue heavy, sure. And the Monster of the Week thing is still very typical in earlier runs.
And that could be done well.
And it was.
Things that
before.
have been done well, yeah.
But I do feel like I'm not sure she understood the character. No, and that's what makes me sad, because I think her origin's really cool, and it's just sad that didn't come through for you guys in this.
Yeah, because, like, and even when I learned about her mom and her dad, I'm just like, oh, but that doesn't tell me anything about her, Like, just because I know your mom and dad now doesn't really mean I know anything about you.
And so this is also one thing I kind of wanted to mention this, because I feel like this is something that needs to be discussed. I've seen this time and time again, and I don't know, and that's, once again, this is me being prude, like, completely me being like this. I get that. I often get actually madder when a woman writes a women character, which is kind of done for male gaze, or they're trying to revamp it, or even like that, and they still continue to stay the same story. like I feel like that really bothers me, and this is my double standard, frankly. But the thing is, like, I get very annoyed if it's like a female writer is writing the story and the women is still drawn that way or still act in a very weird way. Like, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't know, what's your thought on that? I feel like
but I don't know.
as ladies, there needs to be some more responsibility. Yes, I mean, frankly, I know it shouldn't happen, but guess what? That's the situation we're in. And in comic industry, if you were given a character which was done mostly for male gaze and you were given the choice to write them, you should have more responsibility to change that, to up that.
I don't know who's given that much responsibility, though. I understand if you're a bigger writer. I don't want to put this on her in a way that's like,
she's actually very well.
Hey, why didn't you make this happen? But I don't know how much like agency you have in that situation.
Yeah, we don't know how much freedom she really got.
Yeah.
This could have been an editor
Fair
thing.
enough.
It could have been, you know.
Fair enough.
Like, an ideal world, you would have that ability. But think, like, if you were given this opportunity for a long run where you're the writer, like, and you didn't want a certain artist, like, if you turn that down, what does that say to the company? What does that say to, like, future jobs? Like, I know in my position where I am now at work, if I had turned down something, it would not bode well for me in future employment opportunities.
Well, and
so I don't know what it's like.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious after reading this. Like, I saw that her Swamp Thing run is coming out with an Omni this year.
Yes.
I haven't heard anything about that or not. Like, have you guys? Because
I don't know. This is my first Nancy call-in.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder, I think some people, I wonder when people come into this character, or maybe other Dynamite characters, and this is just me speaking off the cuff, because I haven't read all of these Dynamite characters, but I wonder if some people don't do their full research into some of these and fully understand either, because I always feel like sometimes when these characters get picked up, they aren't understood. Like, I honestly feel that way a little bit in Amy Chu's current, the Betty and Veronica crossover. Of course, that's a special case because it's short. But I think some people look at Vampirella and they just see this one thing, and so they write this one thing.
You mean two things? Her boobs.
Yeah, not like that. But I mean, like, they see this, like, she's just a scantily clad vampire. She must be like this.
Well, and we see that a lot with the
reading it,
right? With people coming in, and you're like, "That's not how this character would act." Like, you know,
or
like Heroes in Crisis, right?
Yeah. So I wonder if this is like, if that's how this happens sometimes. Like, how people, are they really involved? Are they not? I felt like reading Red Sonja, you got writers that really do know the character and care.
That's good.
But it's a different Red Sonja, though, isn't it? Because the original Red Sonja is dead, and this is a different Red Sonja.
I don't know.
Yes, because
I haven't read Classic. I've only read as early as She-Devil with the sword.
Oh, okay. I think that's the case. You are the expert. You can tell me. But the thing is, like, I remember wanting to read the original Red Sonja, and the thing was that she was raped, and then she was left to die, and then a god gave her power. As soon as the R word appeared, I'm like, I'm out of here. Because I do not read stories where women get raped.
Well, and I understand. Luckily, that's something that's changed since, which I think we can appreciate.
No, but that's what I'm saying. When she was redone, it was like a different Red Sonja altogether. The original Red Sonja is dead, and then she somehow gets something. She becomes the Red Sonja. I think that's the whole thing about Gail Simon's run was, and then she became Amy Chu's character. But then again, it doesn't, like, that's not what the discussion point was. Anyway, I don't know. Guys, I tried. That's all I can say. Guys, I tried. And I was like, no, I can't do this to myself.
That's okay. Just go read Red Sonja.
Yeah. Oh, I am. I'm planning on reading Red Sonja.
All I spend all my time doing is just begging people to please read Red Sonja by Gail Simone.
Well, the thing is, like, that I have the trade, so I'm going to read the trade, but there is a deluxe version coming out later this year.
I'm going to buy that for sure, no question.
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of looking. I'm going to read the trade before then, because if I like it, then I can sell this and get that. But anyway, never mind. Oh, yeah. Guys.
So,
So the thing is, here's a question though: is there a newer version of this Vampirella that's currently coming out? Written by a woman, please.
There's a lot of smaller. Let me pull up Comixology because there's a lot of smaller runs of these. And they also have one more omnibus following this, and I haven't read it yet, obviously, but it's like Vampirella Dynamite Years Omnibus Volume 3 minis. So I'm wondering if that's like just
mini stories.
Yeah, mini stories.
I wonder if it's more like the one at the end then, which was the annual, right?
Yeah,
which was like a mini.
There was one in 2016, and she has a different outfit in that one. She's got like, I don't know how to describe it. This cute little romper looking thing, and like bangs and like a ponytail. So it looks like that might be more your speed. It's by Kate Leff.
Well, I'll read that.
Yeah, I love Kate Leff.
Me too.
And then also, like, as I was reading that 2 issues before I checked out, I kept on thinking, I'm like, oh, when can Kelly Thompson write this? Because that would be amazing. We wouldn't need to know any of the past.
She can do anything.
Yeah, we wouldn't need to know any of the past or anything. We just need to read this, and it would be awesome. And she would also make comment about her clothes, because that's what Kelly does. Like, if there's something stupid, Kelly would point it out, and then it's gonna be okay. Because that's one of the style that she does. But anyway, yeah. It's a no from me, guys, unless you couldn't tell.
That's fine. I would recommend this to somebody who wants to be a completionist, but I would say if you really want to try Vampirella at her best, hands down Kurt Busiek. That's all as I kept reading more books after this, I was like, I just want it to be that run.
So how long is that run? How long is the run?
I don't know how long the run is. All I know is I'm trying to figure out the best way to read those, because I don't know if the masters collect the entire run or just one story.
Okay.
So that Masters Volume 5, it collects a story. I think it's like a Morning in America or something. I think that's the title of the story. I really, really liked that. It felt very Buffy-esque. It felt like a 90s show. Like Buffy mixed with Xena with like a touch of Elvira. And so I really liked it.
Okay.
Not in the level I like Red Sonja, but I still thought it was a nice little romp, you know?
Yeah, I like Kurt Busiek stuff. Like he's older Marvel stuff needs to be super wordy, but at the end it's like a very classic story at heart kind of situation. Especially his Secret Identity. I recommend everyone to read that. I know, Kristan, you don't like Superman, but you may actually like this because Superman's not in it, but it's called Superman's Secret Identity.
I'll try that.
Yeah, that's a really good. So yeah, I may give this a chance, but not today because I am still hyped up.
That's fine. So we're getting close to time. Do we just want to do our pick of the weeks and then talk about what we're going to talk about next week?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maddie, hang on. Before we get into that, what's your prediction for the finale?
Oh, we can't talk about it on here. Spoilers. That's for the Game of Thrones show next week.
No, I'm talking about your prediction. The show hasn't aired yet.
I can't talk about it. They haven't seen the last episode.
Prediction.
No. Not going to do it.
Okay.
She said no.
No.
Anyways, my pick of the week is Kiss number 8.
I'm upset you didn't like that.
Yes.
So I'm going to do this. What is
Kiss
it?
number 8.
Kiss number 8. Pick of the week.
It's so good. I'm so glad you read it.
I cried about it last night.
I know.
Was it Buffy number 8? I'm sorry, I missed it.
No. So Kiss number 8 is that book.
Oh, Kiss number 8. Oh, yes.
That's what I was like, you guys need to read. And then Maddie read it. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, I know. So I've been looking for that Hoopla. It's not on Hoopla, so I need to buy this.
It's worth it.
So it's not going to be on Hoopla.
Right.
It's totally worth buying. It's great.
I'm definitely doing that. It's on my Amazon cart now.
Good.
Yeah.
My pick of the week is Sabrina the Teenage Witch by Kelly Thompson, issue number 2. If you have Hoopla, you can read it. And it's lovely. It's still great. I'm reading it by issue because I'm so into it. So check that out.
Read it.
Now that I have Hoopla, I may do that same too.
Yeah.
Hoopla. So my pick of the week is I have been finishing up entirety of Hellboy and Mignolaverse. So I am now a Hellboy expert. Like
Nice.
so I have finished everything of BPRD until the last volume of The Devil You Know. And after that, I will have some straggler one-offs here and there, Lobster Johnson and Witchfinder. So I actually would like to do a show with you guys one day about Hellboy, like if you guys are up for it.
I need an excuse to read it. I didn't get into it when I read it before, so I'd like to try
In
again.
that case, never mind, because
I need to read it too.
It's one of those things, you're in it or you're not.
Well, I may get into it once I read more.
Oh, you know, if you want to give it a chance, like if you feel like okay, I'm willing to give this a chance, then yes. But if you think like the first volume, you're like, this is not my thing, then it doesn't change much. If you know what I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like from that point of view. But the thing is like, yeah. So Hellboy and BPRD, that's like not that series, but the BPRD, the entirety of it. That's my pick of the week.
Okay, sweet.
It's a broad pick, but it is a pick.
So next week, it'll be just me and Fariha, and then we're having a guest on the show, Amanda, who's my co-host from Near Mint Condition. And we will be talking about Game of Thrones.
Season 1 to season 8.
So we'll just be, lamenting or cheering, or I don't know how it's going to go down. But
it will be a lot of lamenting.
Yeah. So hopefully join us then. Again, it'll be, do we want to do 7 p.m. again or do 8?
Up to you. I have no problem.
We'll announce it. So just be around here. But thank you again to Dynamite. I know that our reviews were not as stellar for Vampirella Dynamite Years Omnibus Volume 3, but I thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
We still appreciate it, yes.
And thank you so much for Nancy Drew. We absolutely loved it. And hey, if you want to send your girl some Xena, a good girl up. I guarantee it's 10 out of 10. I don't even have to read it to tell you it's 10 out of 10. But anyways, thank you guys so much for checking in. And don't forget that if you're going to buy comic books, please stop by InStockTrades.com.
Get Nancy Drew on InStockTrades.com.
Right. All right. See you guys next week.
Bye.